All right, the grand finals are set. We have a rematch of the winners bracket finals in which Gale Force did sweep Method, but now we're going to have to see if Method can turn things around, capitalize on that performance like we saw in the lower bracket finals against Sizzle Your Cobb with those 14 unanswered goals, and come back and secure themselves a victory right here in the grand finals. This is going to be their toughest task to date, as Gale Force has been playing incredibly well, including that 3-0 sweep of them in the winners bracket just a few minutes ago. The games are going to be started here momentarily, and we're going to go ahead and meet our competitors right now and hand things over to our announcer, Trace.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise to your feet for our first grand finalist, Method, Metsinaurus, and Magnus. It's now time to meet our second grand finalist, Gale Force Esports, Gale and Violent Panda.
All right, so the grand finals are now set. Our teams are going to get started here. And just to remind everyone at home, this was a double elimination tournament. Gale Force advanced through the winners bracket, which means we're not doing any sort of a bracket reset, but Gale Force starts this best of 7 up 1-0. Let's go ahead and bring in our analysts right now. You guys just came off the game casting method as well. Of course, we got James and Corelli here. So I've got to ask, is the method that we're going to see in this rematch against Gale Force going to be closer to the 14 unanswered goals that we saw against Sizzle Your Cobb, or closer to the team that got swept in the winner bracket finals? Corelli, I'll start with you.
I don't know. The real question here, I have to say this, the real question here is Gale Force going to finish second? They are notorious for finishing second in every Rocket League tournament. Will they do it here in a 2v2 setting? That's the question for me. I don't know.
Yeah, and to answer your question, I think that Method, they used this opportunity against Sizzle Your Cobb to really get back in their groove. But the team that knocked them out of their groove was Gale Force. I think Method, they're going to make this closer than the 3-0 sweep we saw in the upper bracket final, but I still think that Gale Force is going to prove that they're the best 2v2 team in the world.
All right, guys, well, let's go ahead and take a look at the bracket once again so you guys can get caught up on where these teams have come from so far. So as we said, Gale Force Esports starts up 1-0 in the grand final as a result of having come through the winners bracket undefeated. Now, they started off a bit shaky, dropping a couple of games, but they have really picked things up since then, taking out DapG convincingly, then knocking out Method 3-0, and now finding themselves up against another rematch. And right now, Alex is actually standing by with Gale Force Esports. Take it away.
Yes, I am. We're going to get a few words from these guys before they get into the game, starting the K-Dop over here. It's been a long tournament. It's been a long time coming to get to this point. How are you feeling right now coming into this match?
I'm feeling good to be in one other final. I'm feeling good, and voila.
All right, good luck, man. Over to you, Violent Panda. We just saw, I'm sure you watched that match, them against Sizzle Cobb. You knocked him down to that place. How are you feeling after seeing how well they were playing in that last match? What are you expecting in this final?
I expect them to play good, but we won last time, so I think we can do it again.
All right, there you have it. Let's give it up one more time for Gale Force Esports. Let the grand final begin.
All right, well, our games are set. We're ready to get started here with the grand finals of the Universal Open Rocket League 2v2 tournament. Let's throw it up to our casters, Wavepunk and Quinn Lobdell.
Thanks so much, Kevin. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been waiting for this match for 2 weeks, for a month now. We've had this Universal Open going on, and it all comes down to this, a best of 7. And the first game technically already in the books, with the advantage going to Gale Force Esports as they came through the winner's bracket. But in truth be told, both these teams came through the winner bracket and it just took a little break from Method to drop down, beat Sizzle Your Cobb and jump right back up here. We've got a game on our hands, and I cannot wait to see how this one goes. It is Method in the orange, Gale Force in the blue. We are off to the races. Let's find ourselves a champion here. Magnus will take a shot from the middle of the field. Violent Panda over to the side and K-Dop in the back. We'll wait to see what Mets does with it. He'll try and drop it underneath, not going for the crossbar, and K-Dop could drop down just fine. Send that one away. Violent Panda to slow it down.
Yeah, really good play already so far. A bit of a stalemate, but you see them carefully thinking about the intention, setting things up already for us.
Violent Panda out of his net. Puts it on the ground. K-Dop moves into the corner as well. Clear downfield. Metz moves into the middle. Magnus looking possibly for a backboard pass, but didn't make contact. Violent Panda and K-Dop now going to be able to move it into the box over the top of Metz. He falls back, goes into the corner. Magnus rotates it behind. Back out. Metzenaris towards Magnus. Got the setup. Takes it in the air. K-Dop drops it down, and Violent Panda over to the side. Good teamwork to avoid that sticky situation.
Yeah, I actually really like that give and go between Metzenaris and Magnus, and the fake there at the end, making it look like he's going to go for the double touch and then just faking it, really keeping Violent Panda on his toes.
Metzenaris into the middle. K-Dop over to the side. Method coming off of the reverse sweep of Sizzle Your Cobb. After struggling in games 1 and 2, they locked down that monumental defense that they've had the entire tournament. Didn't allow a goal. These guys, if they get the first goal here, they can hunker down on the defense like no other team I've seen and keep everything out of their net with perfect rotations. And as you can see, we're now 3 minutes left to go here in game number 1. 2 minutes into the game, and here's the best opportunity. K-Dop has it right there in front of him, but Magnus screams it underneath and gets it away.
And you mentioned the incredible defense of this Method team and being able to hunker down once they get the lead. It's incredibly important, especially considering the fact that Gale Force Esports does have a 1-game advantage, like you mentioned before, coming through the winner's bracket. That means that they right now only need to win 3 more games, so we need to see Method come out here with intention to win.
Ooh, Magnus gets it past Violent Panda and forces K-Dop to make the stop.
Be a breakaway. We see K-Dop being zoned out.
Oh, around the side, Violent Panda puts it in. Gale Force Esports on the board.
Yeah, really good job here. Violent Panda taking that 50-50 and not flipping into it. Lets them recover very quickly, and you can see Method getting zoned out and just an easy goal here off of the clear by Violent Panda.
Just 1 second there before halftime, we see Gale Force Esports on the board here in game number 1, sort of to first game they're playing. And Metzenaris off the kickoff. We saw them scoring kickoff goals all the last series, and here they go to tie it back up.
Yeah, you see Violent Panda actually goes for what we call a cheat. That means that he wants to go closer to the middle of the field during the kickoff instead of opting to go for the boost in the corners or stake in his own net. And as a result, he's out of position and unable to do anything to stop that shot.
1 second before halftime, we saw Gale Force get on the board, and then 3 seconds after halftime, Method ties it right back up, and we're right back to where we were. K-Dop with the shot, it bounces off the post. Metz still in a sticky situation, but Violent Panda not able to send it in, and now Metz has ball control. They'll be looking for Magnus, who will be moving up around the mid. He can challenge this one as Metzenaris falls back, but he's a little slow up. Violent Panda over the top and down onto the backboard. Metzenaris clears it to the side.
Already we see dangerous clears coming from Gale Force. These guys are not letting Method out of their own half.
Magnus into the corner. Metzenaris lurks in the middle. Up on the wall, now Magnus goes for middle far boost. They win out the 50-50 over K-Dop. It's Violent Panda in the air looking for K-Dop to keep it moving downfield for the 2-player transition. Now Metzenaris, you see him waiting on the wall there. He was hoping K-Dop would move up and move out of position, but K-Dop very intelligently hanging in the back, not being baited out there. With 120 left to go. Both these teams know how important, knowing how much they can hunker down on the defense. They do not want to be the one to make the mistake and give that lead over to their opponents. 1:10 left to go. Magnus plays it down. Metzenaris moving out, but then falling back as he sees K-Dop move in. The defense is so strong on these rosters.
Right, you see both teams, like you mentioned before, none of them want to concede here. And you can see they're just waiting, trying to get these hard clears and wait for the other team to mess up just like that.
There, K-Dop misses it on the backboard. Magnus punishes and Method has the lead.
Just as I was saying, you'll see them going for these hard clears, looking for these teams to make a mistake, and right there you see K-Dop just struggling on that backboard clear, and Magnus able to get that easy goal, and it's only 1 minute left in this match.
55 seconds remaining. As you said, the 1-goal lead. And we saw them playing, Method playing against Sizzle Your Cobb. Sometimes they had a 6-0 lead, sometimes they had a 1-0 lead. It didn't matter. Sizzle Your Cobb unable to get through the defense once Method had the lead in the game. They do not have to push out an offense at all right now.
They're equally comfortable with possession of the ball or without, and that's something that you don't see. Only the highest level of teams seem to have that kind of comfort playing on defense.
K-Dop now in the middle. He's just got Magnus in the back, but Metzenaris is moving into position quickly. K-Dop is not able to make quick work of Magnus. Wins the 50-50 there, and will send it over to his teammate Metz. This one dropping in a dangerous place. Magnus, great read on the bounce off the ground, and now he's got a transition as well. They could extend the lead. Hit goes in the top corner. They're up by 2.
And then just like that, straight off of the clear into the ceiling. Violent Panda's out of game, and you see K-Dop. He's way too far off to the side and not towards the center of the field. By not being in the center of the field, he's unable to position himself to have an impact on that play.
Now with 12 seconds remaining, most likely gonna be a Method victory here, and they will tie it up, but all is possible to see it. We'll wait, we'll call it too early here. With ball control in enemy territory, dropping down. It's going to touch the box. Even if they got a goal right now, the second one would be basically impossible. And with that, the one-goal lead, the one-game lead by Gale Force, immediately eliminated here by Method as they tie the series up at 1 apiece.
And already doing better than their previous loss there against Gale Force Esports. Not too long ago, both these teams were in the winner's bracket, and we saw Method getting knocked out by Gale Force with a 3-0 sweep. And already Gale Force starting that one-game advantage, like you said, it means nothing.
They've had some monstrous shot totals down through this tournament. 11 here from Method, holding Gale Force to only 4, completely having control of this game, even after going down early in the game. The Violent Panda on this is a simple breakaway. Then they were able to bounce back very quickly.
Yeah, you can just see Method right here. Metanoris going for it. That was right off of a kickoff, and you saw Violent Panda miss the play because he tried to cheat and just not effective enough. All of these goals coming from mostly positioning mistakes.
These guys, just the strength that we're seeing from this Method roster. After dropping 2 games to Sizzle Your Cobb, they had dropped 3 games to Gale Force right before that. They lost 5 games straight, and now they have won 3. They've won 4 straight now. They are bouncing back in monumental fashion here. And oh my gosh,
it's good timing too, right in the grand finals. That's a heck of a time to be bouncing back.
The question for you, Quinn, like what does Gale Force need to do in this situation when they cannot get through the defense at all that Method's putting up?
Well, I think one thing that Method does really well is that they stay calm, and they're actually incredible at these reflex saves. And to deal with that, they need to kind of start bumping them more, get into the goal, and don't worry so much about pushing the ball forward up the field. Let your teammate go, cause a little bit of havoc, and then start your dribble.
Well, we'll see how this moves forward in game number 3. Again, a best of 7 here in the finals. And Metsunar is able to put that one in right off the bat. 5 seconds in.
Yo, what?
I believe we're being told we're in the wrong lobby. I'm confused here, though. Now, it's so we're going to wait. All right, and now we're on board. So, as said, Metsunaris did score 5 seconds into this game. And we now have everybody on board with us here. A tied-up series here in game number 3. Violent Panda to carry this one off the wall. Method getting up early. It was a kickoff goal, the same way we've seen them scoring so many times. They put in another one. They're up by 2.
Another great shot. The first goal, yeah, just a simple kickoff goal. Nothing much could be done. But here, Metanoris using his second jump there just to get a little bit of extra power. Hit the ball directly into the corner. That's going to bounce back in perfect position for him to get another shot. That angle so tight and so difficult to defend there from K-Dop and Violent Panda.
4:26 left to go. First minute, exciting here for Method. Having won so many games in a row now, they are on such a roll, so much momentum. This one can't get up, finish it off. He'll be able to put that one in. The pinch goes in their favor, and it's a 1-goal game.
Such a good turnaround here. Just that challenge so effective there from K-Dop. Spotting at both of the 2 players that there was a huge passing lane in between that he could interfere with, and you see the fast counterattack goal with the double touch to fix it.
4:16 left to go. Quick first minute here. 3 goals in the first minute of game 3. Can they make it 4? Metsunaris plays it over the side, but Magnus still not in a great situation. Reads K-Dop's 50-50 there. Able to get up in the air and send it away. Gale Force Esports with ball control in enemy territory. Have K-Dop back off. Give a bit of space here.
Well, great 50-50 there from Magnus. He's going to look for Metsunaris.
Put it over the side. That goal that we just saw Gale Force score. One of the first goals we've seen Method concede after having the lead in 5 games.
Method just so good at holding on to their lead. You see how patient they play on defense. It's incredible to watch. There's nothing that catches them off guard.
K-Dop drop this one down. Now to push it through Metsunaris. Magnus over the side. Opinion off the wall. K-Dop in net. Metsunaris 50-50 drops it back into the corner. So it's Violent Panda very far upfield, but it's always a threat for cherry picking there.
And right now, both teams again just looking to put the ball into open space, waiting for teams to make mistakes. You see that Metzenar is just trying to let K-Dop perhaps make a mistake and get that 1v2 situation working for them.
3 minutes remaining here. Game number 3.
Oh, Panda!
Panda trying to drop it down. He's scored those double taps quite a few times. But look at the patience from Magnus. He knew that Violent Panda didn't have the angle, so he sat on the ground and waited for the follow-up. Got the block.
At least he
on the inbound
hoped he didn't have the angle.
Fair, I'll give you that. Definitely was hoping he didn't have the angle there.
After some of the shots that we've seen Violent Panda scoring, that guy, Violent Panda's been absolutely on fire today. He's going to be looking to bring some of that form into this series against Method, something that they haven't been able to do. Method doing a really good job neutralizing the offense of Gale Force.
Sending this out towards Metzenaris. Halftime coming and going with the lead still in Method's favor. A win in this game would give them a lead in the series.
Great shot.
Magnus plays it to the side. It's been best of 3s through most of the day. We had best of 5s in the winners and lower finals, but now here in the grand finals, a best of 7. You have to win 4 games to take the victory in the Universal Open. Magnus sitting it on the backboard. Violent Panda now out towards K-Dop, looking for the midfield passes. They draw out 2 defenders, but they get a solid clear away. They won't get punished, and Metzenaris falls back. Allows Magnus to have the early aggression here. Can he do it all by himself? Underneath, puts it in. It's a 2-goal game.
Magnus is just absolutely immense here. He hits the ball off the bounce. We call it a bounce dribble, and it's so difficult for Violent Panda to defend moving backwards. He jumps, turns around, but when you're moving backwards like that, your car just doesn't have the momentum, the power it needs to make it clear, and you see Magnus each that one in.
1:49 left to go. Violent Panda and K-Dop. Play this one down over the side, towards the back wall. Violent Panda now to pick it up. You can see Method doing what they do best here, just going for the long clears and all the breakaway. Metzenaris isn't going to miss this. He'll put in another one. The double commitment, got it underneath both of them, and then just runs it down the field.
Yeah, we talked about risk versus reward. There's 1 minute and 23 seconds left, and with only 2 goals separating them, K-Op and Violent Panda opt to have both players commit in hopes to get that goal there and kind of tighten this game up. Instead, it doesn't work out for them, and we see Magnus and Metzenaris increase their lead further. It feels like Gale Force just doesn't know how to take this team apart.
Oh, but Violent Panda over the top, taking it through. The kickoff goals, good way to get some momentum back on their side. It's a 2-goal game again.
Right, and we've seen kickoff goals actually on both sides here, so it's good for this for Violent Panda. This is going to give them a little bit of momentum, something that's closing that goal lead. We just see them struggle to find any sort of offensive success against Method.
We can't fail to mention and to remember how magnificent of a feat it is that Method is here in the first place. So many huge teams came and competed here in the Universal Open, and so many people. I was talking to Karma earlier. She predicted Method to win this whole thing. I know nobody else who was predicting Method to win this whole thing. The fact that they are here and they're up by 3 over Gale Force right now.
Touch there from Magnus. He delays his second flip there just at the last possible second to close the gap between him and K-Dop, and then he uses his flip to get that extra burst of power. So good.
With a minute remaining, up by 3. This game looking all but over in favor of Method. All you gotta do is hold on. And with the defense these guys have been playing, should not be any problem, and they'll take the lead in the series. This one looks like it should go all the way off of a pinch and in, but still the 2-goal lead, 47 seconds left. Gale Force got a lot of work to do.
And 2v2, 47 seconds I think is enough. You can see Magnus and Metzenaris both jumping for that. And very well done here from Violent Panda, just put that straight on target, recognizing the double commit. But 2 goals, there's still plenty of time to make this happen. We have seen K-Dop and Violent Panda in this tournament, I mean, make 3 goals comebacks in 45 seconds or less.
And the only team that's been able to succeed. Oh my goodness, is this going in? It goes in. It's a 1-goal game.
2 goals in like 10 seconds. This kickoff pressure is so incredible. Now we're starting to actually see backwards. We're starting to actually see both teams here do a lot of cheating on the kickoff. And cheating refers to just staying close to the kickoff, following very tightly behind, not going for boosts or defending your own net.
It has been the kickoff goals that have been plaguing Method here and keeping Gale Force alive in the game. But notice the lack of a challenge from Metz. He waited till Violent Panda went into the corner. He doesn't need to score right now. He trusts the defense of Method. But the only team that's been successfully scoring on Method consistently has been Gale Force. And if anybody could do it right now with 20 seconds left, the ability to play into 0-second time here to get the equalizer, this is definitely far from over from Gale Force.
and this would be the first time that Method would take the game advantage in this series against Gale Force.
Magnus in front of the
can
net.
he get this?
Can he put one more in? He's just slowing it down. Look at this smart player here. Just play into the last moment, kill it. Can he get it down? That's all he's got to do is touch the ground with it. It'll touch. Method taking game number 3. They're now up a game in this finals.
Such incredible play there from Metsonoris and Magnus, always playing patiently. And this game against Gale Force, it really looked like Gale Force was going to make that comeback happen. It sounded like they had their number. The kickoff goals time and time again. You can look at the shots and see from 11 shots on Gale Force to only 4 goals. Method's defense has just, it's been something else. It's been out of this world.
These guys, Method, putting on a show that nobody expected them to put on, and they had to. They made it interesting here at the end. They get out to a substantial lead, and then Gale Force Esports, the only team that's been consistently scoring on Method here, able to bring it back to 1, especially using those kickoff goals, was down to the wire.
Yeah, it would have been, I think, Violent Panda and K-Dop here just struggling a little too much on defense and dealing with those kickoff goals. I feel without the kickoff goals, this series would have been much, much closer and perhaps in Gale Force's favor.
Yeah, but then also the kickoff goals that we saw Gale Force score, like the one we just saw from Violent Panda here, another one. And this that backwards goal from K-Dop.
That was a pretty nice kickoff goal.
Just to have the awareness of K-Dop to think of, what should I do here? What's the right thing for me to do? Oh, let's just back up. I'll hit the angle correctly and put it into the open net. Brilliant plays there from the European MVP.
Yeah, I have to say that backwards goal, giving me flashbacks to Dad.
No. You're not wrong. It was an Octane too. It was actually kind of a similar play.
Yeah, but I think in this next series, we're going to be looking to see a lot more coming out of Gale Force. I think they're kind of getting a little more comfortable there with Method.
Yeah, well, we'll see if they can move this one forward. It's been fantastic to watch Method. I want to see if they can keep their defense, if they can really hunker down and get some of the shutouts we've been seeing. But up until about the semifinals or so, they had allowed 1 goal in the entire tournament. And then they ran into Gale Force, and that record was completely obliterated as we saw Gale Force putting up monstrous numbers. But here in the rematch, Method has gotten both of the wins that they've played. That one win we see on the side of Gale Force was given to them because they came through the winners finals. So as we move into Game 4, the pressure is on Gale Force. They've got to find a way to beat Method. Now 4 minutes, 54 seconds left. The game just getting started here. Violent Panda over to the side. Magnus down on the ground, playing patient. Comes down, K-Dop's there, but plays over to the side as Magnus gets in the way. Again, can't say enough good things about this Method defense. As Magnus saves it out, Violent Panda has an opportunity to keep this in a dangerous place, but Metsonoris flying in from in front of his own box is able to play into the corner. A ridiculous save to make, and now we see Method out on the offense.
Oh, this is a 2v1 situation. This is dangerous.
Woo! Metsonoris making K-Dop look silly in the net. Just carries it straight to the upper 90, and they've got the lead.
And that is not easy by any means. You can see there Metsonoris waiting on this bounce dribble. K-Dop actually has to slow down as a result, and losing that momentum in his car means he won't be able to make a great save there. So it's a really well-played decision from Metsonoris.
First goal coming at 4:17 left to play in game number 4. Gale Force Esports down again. Struggling to find the lead in these series. And just, I don't know. To get through the defense, I think what you said earlier, Quinn, is a good way to go. Go for the linebacker play. Give the guy in the back the ball control, and then send K-Dop up just to try and get in their faces. Don't allow them to play their game. But right now, we're also seeing Method just be able to get the ball just from any place. They can send it back into their corners, the place where the ball is the least dangerous. And it's incredible to watch this defense. It's really beautiful.
Well, we've actually set up for both.
What was Magnus doing? I'm sitting here talking about their amazing defense, and look at this positioning on the crossbar.
Well, no, this is fine here. He doesn't get off of the crossbar or the backboard early enough, but you can tell he was trying to wait to block off of a pass. But as you said, he hangs around there and spotting out the defensive positioning. He just goes for a far shot on the opposite goal and keeps it low. That's the best way to deal with backboard defense.
3:30 left to go. We'll see. Oh, Violent Panda sends a shot into the net. And just like that, we see them gaining the lead for what feels like the first time in this series. So they got the first one, and now they get the second one. That's 2 mistakes for Magnus we've seen in Met. Not, I wouldn't say the mistake, a great shot from Violent Panda, but more than the defensive Method could handle.
Yeah, it was a great shot there, a nice flick, but you can tell that Magnus, I guess, just not enough boost and out of position as well. Something that we've seen very little of this whole tournament.
That's Naris over into the corner. Magnus and Mets both up for that, a double commit. I think this is the first time I've seen that from Method. Gale Force might be starting to get into their head a little bit here in the grand finals. This is some of the first real LAN experience we've seen from this Method squad, where both Violent Panda and K-Dop veterans of the LAN stage in the 3v3 format.
Yeah, that's a great point. These guys, it's their first time traveling even to the United States, where the majority of Rocket League events have taken place. So these guys are in a new atmosphere. It must be incredibly difficult to deal with. However, Violent Panda and K-Dop, both staples of competitive Rocket League. These guys have dealt with the pressure so well before, so it'll be interesting to see if they'll be able to deal with it one last time.
K-Dop out towards Violent Panda. The shot towards net, and Magnus is right there. Perfect read. To send it away. A follow-up shot. This one going off the crossbar. Violent Panda keeps it competitive, but Magnus is grounded. He'll be able to dribble this one out and send it towards the net. Over the top of K-Dop, who's able to pop up and send it to the corner. Metanaris moved up a bit further than he was hoping to. He'll have to rotate this one around the top of his own net after missing a touch to keep the pressure on. They'll be able to transition quickly here, back down the field and draw K-Dop up. Violent Panda's soft touch doesn't really remove the threat just yet. And the 50-50 going in Method's favor here. They'll be able to keep the ball in the blue for just a moment longer.
And you see so much respect, both these teams not opting to play too much interference play. That has been something that I basically just identified with Method. Great interference play, but you haven't seen much of it in this game.
Oh, he's going to get this one away. K-Dop's right there. He misses. Mets gets the save, and Violent Panda will finally finish it off. They're up by 2, but it was close. They had to work for it.
Yeah, Violent Panda here with a great shot, and then the ball just bouncing off the crossbar and back down on the goal line. Metanaris there actually would have been better off if he could have dribbled that one out. Instead of going for the fast save, he could have just put his car right between the ball and the goal and kept that one out. Instead, pushing that ball out gives the space for Gale Force to take the lead.
Metanaris on this ball down, flicking over the top of Violent Panda. The flick is read by K-Dop. Sends that one away. Now it's Magnus in the back with ball control. 1:30 left to go. The one-game lead here for Method seems to be about to be eliminated as Gale Force up by 3. 1:30 left to go. They've started to play ball.
And this has been one of the first games we've seen in this series of Method just struggling on defense, making so many of these mistakes. Gale Force really capitalizing on every little bit of space that Method gives them.
This one bouncing back to the middle. I've seen Mets score these before. We talked about the kickoff goals earlier in the game. Those have not been earlier in this match. They haven't been as big of a deal here in this particular game. Another one goes in. K-Dop puts it in off of the read. Up by 4. They're running away with this one.
Talking about the space that you get, K-Dop, a great 50-50 there, and just jumping all the way over Magnus. He doesn't even matter. He doesn't even see Magnus. He's a nobody. Just the way he jumps over him and takes that shot.
Now with 1:19 left to go, 4-goal lead. And the defense that we've been praising so much for Method, having their hands full with this Gale Force roster, the only team that's really given them significant problems. Sizzle Cobb for 2 games was looking pretty good and then got completely shut down.
Right, the anticipation here from K-Dop and Violent Panda is so good. We didn't see these in the earlier games. It's something that's just been starting to happen in these more recent, or in this game in particular. They're just positioning themselves exactly for the clears. And look, you can just see Violent Panda already just ready to challenge any single ball that goes.
44 seconds remaining. Struggling to get the ball even into the blue box at this point. Method will be conceding game number 4, and we'll have a tied-up series guaranteed at least game 6 in our grand finals. These guys playing for the larger part of a $100,000 prize pool here in the Universal Open. They will continue to play out the clock. For this point, the game very handily in Gale Force Esports control.
Well, most definitely. 5 goals to 1. There's just not enough time left in this match to make that happen here. We're going to see, like you said, a guaranteed game 6.
Can they get the buzzer beater? Magnus sends this one down, and it'll touch the ground there. Gale Force Esports, after dropping 2 games in a row to Method and having the lead because of coming through the winner bracket, they will now tie up the series at 2 games apiece. And this is, so at the end of last game, I was asking you for Gale Force. What does Gale Force need to do? Now the question is about Method.
Wait, fuck, let me interrupt you. There was one shot from Method that entire game.
One shot. And it went in, too.
Yeah, but that just speaks to how good Gale Force was at adapting to Method's defense. Just positioning themselves so ready for all these clears. And you can see the first goal coming on Method's side. But after that, nothing able to happen. Not able to materialize any kind of offensive pressure whatsoever.
And you talk about that one shot on the side of Method, 6 apiece from Gale Force. They scored 12 shots in total. They shot 12 shots in total, scoring 5 of those. This Gale Force esports roster, when they want to get the damage done, they really can put on the hurt here. And the thing is, Method have been the team that have been giving them the best fight, have been able to block anything. But in this situation, what does Method need to do after being scored on so heavily here in Game 4?
I think that Method really needs to kind of slow down there with their clears. They're pushing their clears so hard that you can see K-Dop and Violent Panda are not even really pressuring so aggressively. They're just waiting for these clears, predicting where they're going to go, and then positioning themselves accordingly. And it's become so predictable that there's been no struggle for Gale Force at all. We saw them really having a tough time games 1, 2, dealing with Method. But as they've begun to adapt to just the hard, clear play style that Method has, it's just become no problem. They're going to have to change up their gameplay and perhaps play a little bit of small ball, as people like to call it. You know, just tighter passing plays, not just going for hard clears.
And I'm impressed that Gale Force was able to find a way through the Method defense without using the demolition bumping strategies we were talking about. Just with simple, clean pass plays and looking for holes in the defense, Violent Panda just picks up right where Game 4 left off.
Rocket of a shot. Look at this, Violent Panda getting this ball over Magnus, and right here taking his time, positioning himself to get the most power possible and shooting on that far corner. Those shots in the upper 90 so difficult to defend.
I wonder, just Quinn, as a former competitor yourself, Method going up 2 games, being very close to getting a streak going, really starting to get into their head of like, we can win this thing. Going up against the veteran players who have been here so many times and have lost so many times. Both K-Dop and Violent Panda have been in the grand finals, the final match of RLCS, and lost that one. They know what it feels like to lose on these stages. Do you think that has a big part of why we see the defensive Method kind of breaking down a bit?
Yeah, I mentioned earlier, usually you take this one game at a time. You know, don't look at the whole series. Oh, I'm about to get knocked out. Just it's one game. You win one game, you move on to the next one. However, these guys, it's their first time at a serious LAN event at this caliber. LAN event being a local Rocket League tournament. These guys having to travel to a situation, an atmosphere they're not used to. You know that it's affecting them.
That's Norris in the corner. Magnus now taking a shot towards the net, and K-Dop plays this one all the way down the field. Metz has to play it to the side. He'll get the touch, and Magnus will rotate into goal, but Violent Panda will keep the pressure on. K-Dop will be looking for the touch from Metz. See if he can push it back out. 2 players committed on that offensive push. Metzenaris hightails it back to his side. He doesn't want to leave a completely open backfield, but still, Violent Panda easily plays it underneath him, and it's all to Magnus on the backboard.
There was not so much of a problem, I felt, with that overcommit there because there was not that much risk. You could see it was an easy job to get that fast rotation.
Magnus now over to the side. K-Dop picks up ball, controls towards the net. Metzenaris, it goes
what a
inside.
save from Magnus!
He's right there, sends it away, and they'll keep the game at just 1-0. With 3:14 left to go, Method has really been struggling to score of late. They're going to have to get something going here in Game 5.
Yeah, you see them putting actually a lot of pressure off their shots, but they need to use more lateral passing. They need to utilize each other much more than they're currently doing.
3 minutes left to go. Demo on Magnus in his own half gives a momentary power play here to Gale Force, and a miss from Metzenaris. Violent Panda will punish that. It's a 2-goal game.
Yeah, that power play, like you said, so effective. A demolition, taking players out of the game for 3 seconds. Once Metzenaris misses that first touch, you know it's a surefire goal because he doesn't have a teammate thanks to that demolition.
2:52 left to go, and Method, a drought of goals now, spanning multiple games. So much of an issue struggling. They haven't scored since the first minute of the last game. And now a good opportunity here if they can get it past K-Dop, but he reads it so well, sends it back into the corner. Violent Panda will spawn, pick up his own corner boost. Magnus trying to drop it for Metzenaris. Violent Panda plays it away. Can they get the breakaway? The drag race to the ball. K-Dop gets the shot over the top. It'll go in. It's 3-0 Gale Force.
And again, another risk taken here. Metzenaris going for that ball, and Magnus with no boost. You can see he's not fast enough there. K-Dop able to beat him out. That is the importance of the boost game. When you don't have enough boost, you cannot commit to a play because you will not be able to rotate back onto defense in time.
And if you're not able to get to Mach speed, anybody on the pitch can beat you. And now a 3-goal deficit. And Method, who's been the Cinderella story of the tournament, really on their back heels after dropping the last game handily and now being down significantly here in Game 5. The Cinderella story we've been talking about is Method, but Gale Force has been struggling to find a land victory since their formation. Violent Panda carrying it through the air, Magnus will send it over to the side, but Gale Force really wants it. They've been in second place so many times. The long con Cinderella story here is Gale Force is trying to finally get that land victory.
Yeah, and you see Method already with a few uncharacteristic whips, something we haven't really seen considering just how well they've been playing their mechanical skills, so technical and so consistent. But maybe in this grand final, we see them starting to slip.
Magnus and Metanaris playing together, trying to carry it into the box. That's as close as they've gotten to scoring a goal all game, it feels like. Metanaris has Magnus to play for it. Oh, but Kadov just reads the pass, knows where the shot's coming in, and blocks everything Magnus had in front of him with 1:20 left to go. How much time is too little time here?
1 minute 20, still enough time to make that comeback. However, they're broadcasting that passing play a little too hard. They're so far away from each other that it's very clear when he's trying to push that ball off to the side towards his teammate, he's opting for that passing play, leading to an easy save there from Kadov. They need to play closer together. That small ball we talked about earlier, making it a bit more ambiguous as to where they're going to push that ball.
Final minute of Game 5.
1 minute for
And Gale Force with a stranglehold on this scoreboard, 3-0. Can they continue on here with 45 seconds remaining? It really looks like Method just struggling to even get out of their own half. Look at the 50-50 game here from Kadov.
Yeah, Kadov, definitely one of the best players in the world at 50-50s. We heard James Bond even say he's his #1 striker in the world, along with Dapper, another pro player. This guy is so good, and you can tell Kadov earlier on when they were playing, we saw them struggling, dealing with those 50-50s.
20 seconds remaining here. Gale Force Esports, after conceding 2 games and going down in the series, gonna look to bounce back, put in a nail in the coffin there. They'll be up a game as we continue on here in our grand finals.
Yeah, we'll see Gale Force Esports take their game #3, and that is going to be putting Method on match point. If Gale Force takes the next game after this, they will be crowned our champions.
Oh man, the fun part of this is, with Gale Force having come in second so many times, with Method being completely overlooked by all the predictions, it's a Cinderella story no matter how it goes. We just gotta wait to see who. It's gonna be Gale Force taking match point here, going to only have to win 1 more. As soon as they let the ball touch the ground here, Violent Panda just wants 1 more for style. They'll play it to the side, it'll touch, and Gale Force Esports now 5 games up. Can they continue on? We'll see.
When we get back, we're going to find out who are the champions of the Universal Open Rocket League 2v2 Grand Finals here in Santa Ana, California.
Get the alpha, be the alpha. HyperX.
Universal Open is presented by Rocket League. Play for fun, live to play.
Welcome back to the Universal Open Rocket League Grand Finals here at the Esports Arena in Santa Ana, California. We have Gale Force Esports going up against Method. Let's throw things upstairs to Wave and Quinn for the call.
Thanks so much, Kevin. Quinn, I don't know about you, but this crowd has been fantastic, cheering all day. And this might be the last game they get to cheer for, because if Gale Force Esports takes this one, they take it all in the Universal Open. Method's going to have to win 2 if they want to take the victory.
You're right. Gale Force Esports only need one more game to secure their spot as champions, but I don't know if they're going to get it.
Oh, it goes in. Magnus puts it through. Method has the lead here in Game 6.
And this is where Method are at their most dangerous. A botch 50-50s actually go directly center where Magnus was lurking. That's going to be so fortunate for Method. It was a great 50-50, but that positioning from Magnus is so convenient.
Puts that one through. And Method, we've seen what they can do when they have the lead. They have struggled to get the lead in the last 2 games, but now they have it. We'll see how they turtle up on defense. Do they, or do they continue just to play the same? A demo coming through, destroying Violent Panda's ability to move upfield with the ball, but Kadoff gets it past Metz. He's just got Magnus in the back, getting chased by Metz here. Then goes through! Kadoff destroys Method by himself.
Kadoff, the 2v1. So good, this dunk here. Watch. Positioning himself, predicting Magnus to put that ball right down into him, and Kadoff was right.
Oh my goodness. First minute, we see Method get out to the lead on a Gale Force mistake, and then Gale Force comes back immediately. Kadoff puts the team on his back, and they have a tie game, and the shot downfield will be just wide. Is there any follow-up? Violent Panda's in the air, sends it towards the goal, but Metzenaris, perfect positioning, sends it back into the corner.
Yeah, great choice there on the bounce shot there. That would have been a great goal there, except Method will have their way.
Oh, Violent Panda gets it through Metzenaris, who does not make contact. Who's going to set this one out first? It's Magnus over to the side. Violent Panda has to go for the read, but he gets the back pass here. Kadoff now airborne. Magnus with the aerial 50-50. Metzenaris up, and he gets the dunk underneath. Can he get the bounce out of the corner? Just take a free shot towards the net. Kadoff's there, but the shot is wide. And 3:44 left to go. We'll stay tied up at 1 apiece.
Metzenaris would have liked that, get that ball a little further back there, trying to find Magnus, but unable to do so.
Metzenaris on the wall. Violent Panda and Kadoff both up, and not the best of clears, but no immediate pressure, and Kadoff gets it underneath Magnus. Now it's just Metzenaris in the back. He'll boost start Magnus and force the rotation to be slow. Magnus just drops it in front of the net. Can Violent Panda get the shot? Oh, he gets helped out. It doesn't go in. Kadoff's going to keep the pressure on, but Metzenaris in the corner just trying to be a nuisance. Magnus will block it away.
This pressure from Gale Force so incredible. Magnus and Metzenaris barely getting away with the skin of their teeth.
Metzenaris now into the corner. Magnus backed off. First far corner boost. Now in net, he'll play that one away as the boomer shot came through from Gale Force, still tied up. A win here for Gale Force, wins them the whole thing. But Method wants this so badly, they'll take the lead right back.
A botch clear here from Kadoff. Metzenaris doing such a good job getting that flick, taking Violent Panda out of the game. But Kadoff putting that ball center, that's the big mistake there. That clear's just not good enough, and Magnus are going to convert that into a goal.
That is the second time this series we've seen Method score on a Kadoff failed clear, and it gives them the lead, a critical lead here. They have to win this game if they want to be able to win the finals. But Violent Panda with the dribble, he's been making the solo plays all day. Still in a dangerous position as Kadoff goes up, but Metzenaris will drop it to his teammate Magnus, and they'll get the clear downfield. See if they can increase their lead here as they move into the blue. Approaching halftime, game number 6. Kadoff doesn't get a full clear. Violent Panda neither. The Gale Force player is able to get the full touch out. Kadoff going to try and carry it away. Now Metzenaris, the 50-50 game being won out a lot here by Method in the last minute or so. Good part of what has allowed them to stay up on offense, but Violent Panda gets it past that one on the wall, dropping it through. Metzenaris gets in the way, sends it to the side. And now Kadoff around the corner. Can he get it out to Violent Panda? What a kill by Magnus. Just drops it straight in front of Metzenaris' face and says, here you go. Take that one away. 2 minutes left to go. They're still up by 1.
Yeah, we see both these teams just trying to set.
The option plays here. Kadoff can shoot, Kadoff can pass, chooses to shoot, and this is the best I've ever seen someone work around this Method defense today.
Yeah, he sees Metzenaris planted there with the sideways pass. There's no way Metzenaris will be able to move behind him and goal, and then there's the give and go pass. That's the small ball play we were talking about.
That is Gale Force putting it to work here to tie this game back up. And now that lead that we've talked about that Method is able to just hunker down and hide behind, they no longer have. And the shot comes through. Violent Panda from the midfield gives Gale Force Esports the lead.
Yeah, it's such a great touch from K-Dub onto the wall. And then that pass is something else, just out of this world. The self-pass off the wall and then to Violent Panda. It's like they know exactly where their teammates are at all times. The understanding between these two teammates on Gale Force is incredible. And now Gale Force with the lead. These guys are looking to become their next Universal Open champions.
And Gale Force with so much respect. If he had shot that anywhere other than the far post, Method had the block. But now they're going to have to play some defense. Gale Force with Method knocking on their door. They do not want this to be the last game they play. They want another opportunity here. Down by 1 with 1:20 left to go. The chance is still there. The hope and dreams are alive for Method. They've got to find a way to score. At least send us to overtime. Mesinares gets the block, sends it away. The time is starting to tick down for Method.
We saw a little bit of 50-50 play there from Mesinares, but a great bump there on Magnus. K-Dub Williams, so Magnus still able to make it happen.
Are you kidding me? Mesinares will tie this up, but it's Magnus who made the monster play here, getting bumped in the midfield, and then look at this 50-50 victory in a 2v1 situation.
Magnus putting his team on his back. Imagine getting bullied and bumped from behind, trying his best to avoid the demolition. If Violent Panda got that last touch, he would have been demolished and out of the game for 3 seconds, but he's not only able to dodge that, but also win the 50-50 and get into his teammate.
His teammate upfield, and now a tie game in Game 6. It could go either way. We could have this game end right now in Game 6, or we could go to the critical Game 7. Magnus sending this upfield. 39 seconds left and all tied up here. We're not in overtime yet, but it's basically getting to that time where the next goal will win no matter what. K-Dop with ball control. Violent Panda in support. The small ball plays down the field. Mesinares with the reflex save to send it to the side, and Magnus will follow up and keep it there. Mesinares has to play the defense again, but this defense that's been so reliable for Method is holding on. They've just got to get it down the field and score one time, or Gale Force is going to be able to take the victory.
Yeah, we've seen Mesinares so good at interrupting the passing lanes.
5 seconds remaining. K-Dop the shot towards the net. Mesinares isn't there! And this couldn't be Gale Force after coming in second. So many lands. Can they do it here?
K-Dop, such an incredible shot here. And you see Mesinares in the back of the goal. He couldn't get out of the goal. And this could be the very end of Method's life in the Universal Open.
They don't want it to be the defensive mistake, but at the same time, it's K-Dop shooting. The clock is down. Mesinares is going to be low on boost after kickoff. It's going to drop. Can K-Dop get there? Can Magnus touch? No! Wow. Gale Force Esports takes the victory in the Universal Open. Through the upper bracket, the entire way, not losing a single series. They drop Method down the lower bracket, and then they do it again here in the grand finals, and they take the victory.
Yeah, an incredible achievement here from Gale Force. We talked about this before. These guys have gone to 3 to 4 lands in the summer off season before the RLCS, and they've come second place time and time again, and finally able to break that second place curse. We see Gale Force take the #1 spot here in our 2v2 Universal Open.
And the amount of offense we've been able to see these guys putting up time and time again. 14 shots here in Game 6. And props to Method. Nobody was expecting them to get this far. They made it so intense. And we'll see the highlights of this game as it went back and forth and back and forth. They started off getting the lead, as they do so often. But then it was Gale Force bouncing back, able to put that one through. K-Dop, the 1v2 situation to get the victory there.
Yeah, and Method really just, we talk about it, so good with goal advantages. Having the lead, they are one of the most difficult teams we've seen to be able to interrupt that goal lead. But you know what? Gale Force, that speaks to the quality they have. They're one of the only teams able to do so.
The Violent Panda downfield, putting it through. And they say champions here in Santa Ana. Gale Force doing what they've been trying to do. They've been chasing that victory all summer. Couldn't get into the 3v3 scene, coming in second so many times, but here, finally, in the 2v2, K-Dop and Violent Panda get the victory over Method, and what a fashion, what a tournament.
And let's get over to Alex right now, who is standing by with our champions, Gale Force Esports.
Thank you, Kevin. I'm standing right here with our champions, the winners of the first ever 2v2 tournament presented by NBC and FACEIT. The first question is an obvious one. Guys, it's been a long, grueling road, and you are the champions. How does it feel?
It feels good. First tournament win after 4 seconds, so it feels good, yeah.
Same here, four times second in a row on all my lands, and now finally winning is a great. Also shout out to Turbo Pulsar, who said he wouldn't play anymore if we get in a 2v3 situation and land and everything. He tweeted, but yeah.
Hey, he's here in spirit. Guys, you came a long way for this tournament. You've participated in a lot of matches. Can you talk about the grueling schedule coming all the way from Europe and how taxing that has been for you throughout this tournament?
I don't understand.
Violent Panda, you understand?
No, I didn't hear it.
Talk about the grueling path to this point, such a long, grueling tournament.
Yeah, it's been exciting so far. We went off a shaky start, but we took it up and won this one. So.
All right, gentlemen, it's time. Let's make some noise. Come ahead and get your trophy. Gale Force Esports.
And there you have it, the champions of the Universal Open Rocket League 2v2 tournament, Gale Force Esports. And let's go ahead and take a look at the bracket to see how our champions made their way there. Gale Force Esports with a 4-2 victory over Method there in the grand finals. Gentlemen, what an amazing tournament, but we got to give credit to Gale Force Esports, their very first win.
You can't stop the K-Dop. He proved it here, but really for me, the MVP was VP, Violent Panda. From the very first series, he was rock solid, and that carried Gale Force through all the way to the championship. So congratulations to K-Dop and Violent Panda. They deserve this win.
All I got to say is Turbo Pulsa owes his teammates a favor, finally bringing home a championship for Gale Force. Such a great game from both these teams. Gale Force, very calculated. K-Dop finally starting to heat up in day 2 here, and it showed as his passes, his plays to Violent Panda made him look so good throughout this series. Fantastic game from Gale Force Esports, very well earned.
There we have it. Well, they end up taking the victory and $32,500 as well. A huge prize pool for Rocket League, and congratulations once again to Gale Force, who ends up winning the championship. Now, for everyone, it has been an absolute pleasure. It has been an absolute pleasure bringing all of these games to you guys. I hope you have joined us through the entire regionals, and for the entire crew, for everyone involved at the Universal Open, from FACEIT to NBC Sports, it has been a pleasure bringing all of these tournament games to you. Thank you very much for tuning in. For everyone here involved in the production, we hope you have a very wonderful night.
No!